the space station Grabner. 7 was known for two things: its strict rules and the aliens who loved to gossip more than they loved oxygen. So on the morning when Ellen Carter, one of the only humans in this part of the galaxy, stepped out of her shuttle holding a tiny gray cat, the gossip started even before she took 10 steps. Dozens of glowing alien eyes turned toward the small creature in her arms. A tall, blue-skinned officer whispered loudly, "Is that a human pet? So small. So weak." Another alien snorted through 3 noses. "It looks like a fluffy snack. Why bring it to a research station?" Ellen ignored them. She had learned long ago that most alien species respected human bravery, but not human animals. They simply couldn't understand why humans like soft, tiny creatures like cats. Milo, her cat, didn't care either. He simply yawned and rubbed his face against her arm, as if he were the most important creature in the galaxy. Ellen smiled. "Relax, buddy. New place. Same stupid comments." She walked toward the station's main hall, holding Milo close, so he wouldn't get overwhelmed by the new smells. The metallic air, the hum of machines, the faint chemical scent of alien bodies. Everything was different here, but Milo seemed perfectly calm. The station commander, Director Therox, stomped toward her. His heavy armor clanked with every step. "Ellen Carter," he growled, "you did not mention bringing an animal." "It's a domestic Earth cat," Ellen said. "Harmless, quiet, clean." Therox bent down, staring at Milo with glowing red eyes. The cat blinked slowly back at him, unimpressed. Therox grunted. "I suppose it is too small to cause trouble, but keep it out of restricted zones." "I will," she answered calmly. But trouble was already coming. Later that night, Grabner. 7 usually stayed busy 25 hours a day. Engineers worked. Scientists argued. Alien diplomats complained. Normal station life. But that night, the alarms woke everyone. A deep, vibrating sound echoed through every hallway. Warning: containment breach. Unknown creature detected. Ellen sat up in her bed, startled. Milo stretched like it was just another lazy morning. She quickly grabbed her jacket and looked outside. Red emergency lights flashed, painting the corridors with an eerie glow. "Great," she muttered. "First night here, and something already goes wrong." Her neighbor, a 4-armed scientist named Crix, ran past her door. "Crix, what happened?" she asked. He stopped, trembling. The Fangbeast. It escaped from the xenobiology lab." Ellen's eyes widened. She had heard of those. A Fangbeast was a powerful predator from a jungle planet. 3 meters tall, armored skin, razor claws, and an appetite for anything living. "Isn't that extremely dangerous?" she asked. "For you? Yes. For me? Yes. For everyone? Very yes." Crick squeaked and ran again. Ellen shut her door quickly. The last thing she wanted was a monster roaming near her room. She picked up Milo and placed him in his little bed by the heater. "Stay here, okay? Do not go out." Milo blinked once, curled up, and fell asleep instantly. Ellen shook her head. "I wish I had your confidence." Then she locked the door and sat on the edge of her bed, listening to the chaos outside. The alarms continued for hours. Metal walls shook. Heavy footsteps echoed. At one point, she heard frightened screams. Something big hit the floor. Then silence. When morning finally came, she opened her door and stepped into the corridor. Dozens of aliens were gathered around the end of the hall. She walked closer and froze. There, lying on the floor, was a massive body of a dead Fangbeast, its huge jaws open and its spiked tail limp. And right on top of that corpse was Milo, sleeping, curled up like he found the warmest, coziest bed in the galaxy. Ellen's heart jumped into her throat. "Milo." Every alien stared at her with pure shock. A green-skinned officer whispered, how did your tiny creature survive this?" Another alien backed away in fear. "No wounds on the beast, no signs of fight. It simply died." "That cat is cursed," someone muttered. "Or possessed. Or very, very dangerous." Ellen rushed forward and gently scooped Milo into her arms. He woke up, stretched and meowed softly, as if nothing strange had happened at all. Director Therox arrived, stomping toward the scene. His eyes grew wide as he looked from the dead monster to the tiny cat in Ellen's hands. He pointed one clawed finger at Milo. "Human, explain this." Ellen swallowed. I can't. He was locked in my room all night." Therox's voice dropped to a low, dark rumble. "Then how did he kill a creature that destroyed 3 security bots?" Ellen felt a cold shiver run down her spine. "I don't know," she whispered. "Milo is just a normal cat." But deep inside, a small doubt began to grow. Was he really normal? Milo flicked his tail, looked at the aliens surrounding him, and smiled in that slow, mysterious cat way that always felt a little too intelligent. For the first time, Ellen wondered, what else was her cat hiding? The body of the Fangbeast was removed from the hallway, but the fear it left behind stayed like a shadow. No one on the station relaxed, not even after sunrise. Everyone kept glancing at Milo, who sat calmly on Ellen's shoulder like a tiny king, ignoring his subjects. Director Therox ordered all staff to report to the main briefing hall. He also gave a very clear command. "Bring the human's animal with you." Ellen sighed. "You hear that, Milo? You're now the star witness to a murder." Milo purred as if proud. The hall buzzed with loud whispers as she entered. "Look, the killer cat is here. Don't stand too close." "I heard it can break bones by blinking." Ellen rolled her eyes. "You all need therapy." She took a seat at the front. Milo curled into her lap, tail neatly wrapped around himself. Director Therox stepped onto the platform. His armor gleamed under the harsh lights. "We will now review the security footage from last night," he announced. "We must understand how the Fangbeast died, and how the human animal was involved." Ellen felt her stomach twist. She wasn't scared of losing Milo. She would fight the entire galaxy for him. But she needed answers too, because even she couldn't explain what happened. A large screen flickered to life. The footage plays. The recording showed the hallway outside Ellen's room. Red lights flashed. Metal groaned. Then the Fangbeast appeared, huge, spiked, its claws carving deep marks in the floor. Gasps filled the room. It moved toward Ellen's door, sniffing the air. On screen, the door suddenly slid open by itself. Ellen jumped from her chair. "I locked that door." But the recording didn't lie. The Fangbeast peeked inside. Its muscles tensed. Then something strange happened. The video glitched. A long line of static covered the screen for 2 full seconds. When the image returned, the Fangbeast was already collapsing to the ground, like someone had switched off its life. No struggle, no movement, nothing but instant death. The door then closed on its own. And Milo? The camera caught only the edge of his tail as he calmly walked back to his bed, curled up and slept. Silence spread across the hall like cold air. Crix the scientist whispered, That cannot be possible. Cats do not move that fast. No creature moves that fast." Director Therox replayed the clip in slow motion. The same glitch, the same instant kill. He turned toward Ellen, voice sharp. "Human, what is your creature capable of?" She shook her head. "He is normal. He chases lasers and sleeps 20 hours a day." A thin alien with 8 eyes hissed, "Lies! It must be genetically engineered." Another added, "It has hidden weapons." A third whispered, trembling, "It can bend time." Ellen stood up, hugging Milo tightly. "You're all being ridiculous. He's just a cat. He doesn't even understand commands." But then she felt something strange. Milo's heartbeat, it wasn't fast. It wasn't nervous. It was perfectly steady. Too steady. Like nothing in the room surprised him. The accusations began. Director Therox folded his arms. "Whatever that creature is, it is not harmless." Ellen glared at him. "He's my responsibility, and he did nothing wrong." Crix raised 2 of his forehands nervously. "Director, maybe we should test the cat. A small scan. Safe. Non-invasive. Every unknown species should be documented." "No," Ellen snapped. "No tests. No experiments. Milo stays with me. Milo lifted his head and stared at Crix. Just a stare. Crix shivered and stepped back as if he had touched ice. Director Therox leaned toward Ellen. You brought a creature that kills apex predators in seconds. Understand the danger. He killed nothing. Ellen shot back. The camera glitched. The camera is military grade. Therox growled. It does not glitch. The debate grew louder. Accusations. Fear. Whispers of danger. But above all the noise, Milo seemed peaceful, too peaceful. He licked his paws slowly, eyes half closed, as if he already knew the outcome of the whole argument. Ellen looked down at him. Milo, what happened last night? He blinked at her. Slow, calm, almost intelligent. A message from engineering. Suddenly, a small maintenance robot rolled into the hall, beeping urgently. Director Therox, it chirped. Engineering detected more damage in the lower vents. What kind of damage? Therox asked. The robot projected an image. Deep claw marks. Fresh ones. Leading through the ventilation system. A chill went through the room. That wasn't from any known species on the station, except the Fangbeast. But the beast was dead. Crix swallowed. There might have been more than one. Director Therox nodded grimly. Then prepared the station. We may have another predator loose. But the robot beeped again. There's one more detail. The claw marks are small. Everyone froze. Small. Therox repeated. Yes, very small. Almost the size of... Its sensors turned toward Milo. Ellen's breath caught. No, impossible. The room erupted in panic. It's the cat. It's hunting through the vents. It's not an earth animal, it's a monster. Therox raised a hand, silencing them. Ellen Carter, bring the creature to the lab. Now! She clutched Milo protectively. No, you're not testing him. You're not locking him up. You do not have a choice, Therox growled. Milo's eyes narrowed, glowing faintly. Every light in the hall flickered, and for the first time, Ellen felt truly afraid. Not of the aliens, not of the Fangbeast, but of the tiny, warm creature in her arms. Because somehow, Milo didn't seem afraid at all. Ellen carried Milo close to her chest as she walked toward the science wing. She hated every step. Bright lights flashed along the walls. Guards followed her from behind, their weapons set to stun or possibly something stronger. Every alien she passed kept a wide distance, whispering nervously as Milo's tail flicked with lazy confidence. The cat didn't seem bothered at all. His purring vibrated against Ellen's arm like he was taking a peaceful nap on a sunny day. But Ellen's heartbeat refused to calm. Director Therox walked beside her, heavy armor clanking. You are doing the right thing, human, he said. If your creature is truly harmless, the test will prove it. Ellen shot him a glare. He's a pet, not a science project. Every species on the station is documented, Therox replied. Your animal is now a threat. It killed a Fangbeast and left no trace. We need answers. Milo looked up at Therox and blinked slowly. For a moment, the huge armored alien flinched like someone had stepped on his tail. Ellen caught it, and it made her more worried. Inside the research lab, the lab doors slid open with a hiss. Bright white light flooded the room, revealing rows of machines, scanners, and containment pods. Crix, the four-armed scientist, hurried toward them with 2 data pads and a nervous smile. Ah, you brought the creature. Good, he said, handshaking. He pointed toward a small scanning table. It will be quick, just basic checks. Harmless, I promise. Milo jumped from Ellen's arms before she could stop him. He landed softly on the table, sat down, and calmly curled his tail around his body. Crix stared at him with fascination and fear. He cooperates, he whispered. Ellen frowned. He never sits still like this. A gentle hum began as the scanner passed over Milo's body. Lines of blue light, traces outline. Crix watched the data appear on his screens, all 4 eyes growing wider. Strange, he muttered. Very strange. What's strange? Ellen leaned over. Crix swallowed. We detect abnormal energy around him, like a shield, but it's not mechanical, not biological either. It's like bending space around him. Ellen blinked. Space? Bending? He's a cat. Crick shook his head. I know what a normal cat looks like. This is something else. Milo yawned loudly, almost mocking them. The escape. The second scan began, this time checking neurological activity. The computer hummed. Then a soft alarm beeped. Crix frowned at the screen. This is impossible. His brain waves are... Before he finished, every screen in the lab flickered. Lights dimmed. Machines powered down. The door locks clicked open. What's happening? Therox barked. Crick spun around. He's interfering with the machines. Ellen grabbed Milo, but suddenly he wasn't in her hands. He moved too fast to see. One moment he was on the table, the next he was sitting on top of a tall cabinet across the room, staring down at them like a tiny, judgmental king. Crick screamed, dropping a datapad. How did he do that? Faster than sensor detection. Therox raised his weapon, stopped the creature. Ellen stepped in front of him. Put that down. You will not point a weapon at my cat. Milo tilted his head. The lights flickered again. Therox's weapon powered off by itself. What? The director growled. That should be impossible. Milo blinked once, and the locked door to the restricted wing opened on its own. Crix gasped. It can understand security systems. Ellen's voice shook. Milo stopped. Come here. But the cat walked, not ran, straight into the restricted area, tail swaying casually, as if he belonged there, as if he had walked those halls many times before. Inside the restricted zone, Ellen chased him immediately. Therox followed with guards. Crix trailed behind, terrified. The restricted wing was dimly lit. Thick metal doors lined the walls, each marked with warning signs. Alien specimens, dangerous animals, unknown artifacts. Ellen's voice echoed through the hall. Milo, get back here. They found him sitting calmly in front of a sealed container. Inside it floated a glowing crystal, something ancient, humming with energy. Crix whispered, trembling, that artifact is millions of years old, from an extinct species. Highly dangerous. We don't even understand what it does. Milo lifted a paw and lightly tapped the glass. A pulse of light shivered through the room. The crystal responded. It glowed brighter. And then, to everyone's horror, the containment locks began to disengage. No. Crix cried. It took us 10 years to secure it. If it opens... Therox pushed Ellen back, stepping forward, armor glowing. Seal the wing. Now! Alarms blared. Lockdown sirens echoed. But Milo simply sat there, watching the crystal, his eyes reflecting its light. Then, the crystal projected an image, a hologram, a giant feline shape, glowing, powerful, with the same eyes as Milo. The hologram looked directly at Ellen, then spoke in a deep, ancient voice. We found you, little hunter. The hologram vanished. The crystal went dark. Everyone froze. Therox whispered with genuine fear. That thing recognized him. Ellen's voice cracked. Milo, were you? Milo's tail flicked. He meowed softly. But in that moment, the meow didn't sound cute. It sounded like a warning, a promise, a memory, something ancient hiding under soft fur. And Ellen realized she wasn't holding a normal cat. She was holding something far older and far more powerful than anything in the galaxy imagined. The lab alarms did not stop for the next 10 minutes. Red lights flashed along the walls of the restricted wing as the station security systems locked down every door. Director Therox slammed his fist against the emergency console. Seal the artifact chamber. Now! Crix scrambled with shaking hands to re-engage the locks around the dangerous crystal Milo had touched. Ellen didn't look at any of them. Her eyes stayed fixed on the small cat sitting calmly in front of the ancient container, completely relaxed, as if nothing unusual had happened at all. Milo's tail curled around his paws. His ears twitched in a slow, thoughtful way, almost calculating. Ellen whispered under her breath, You're scaring me, Milo. But the cat didn't respond. He simply stared at the crystal's dark surface, as if expecting it to speak again. The sudden silence. The alarms abruptly cut off. A cold quiet filled the hallway. Every alien stiffened. Crick swallowed loudly. Why did the alarm stop? I didn't shut them off. Therox growled. The system doesn't stop itself unless. A voice crackled through the intercom. Emergency. Another Fangbeast has been detected in Sector G. The room erupted in chaos. What? Impossible. We only captured one. Why are there two? Ellen stepped back, clutching Milo. How did a second one get loose? This station wasn't even supposed to have these monsters. Crix trembled. WE captured a pair weeks ago, but we kept one in deep freeze. It should still be frozen. Therox barked orders. All units respond. Sector G is near the lower living quarters. Evacuate civilians. Milo lifted his head as if listening. Then he jumped from Ellen's arms and sprinted down the hall. Milo! Ellen shouted, running after him. But the cat was already gone, vanished into a vent so small that even a child couldn't crawl through. Crix panicked. He's going towards Sector G. Ellen froze. Sector G was where most young alien families lived, where the unarmed civilians stayed, where a Fangbeast would cause the most harm. Ellen didn't think anymore. She ran. Sector G. Chaos and fear. Ellen reached the lower corridors just as the emergency doors began closing. She slipped under one at the last second. Screams echoed through the air. Metal walls rattled as something huge moved in the dark. A father clutched his two children, trying to hide them behind a storage unit. Ellen rushed toward them. Get to the upper sector. Run. The father nodded gratefully and moved fast. A deep growl echoed from shadows. Ellen turned slowly. A massive silhouette stepped into the flickering light. Long fangs. Armored skin. Razor claws dripping with saliva. Another Fangbeast. It locked its glowing yellow eyes on Ellen. Ellen's heart pounded. She backed up until her shoulders hit a wall. Milo! Please tell me you're here, she whispered. But she saw no sign of the cat. Only the beast. It lowered its head and charged. The flicker. Everything happened so fast that Ellen barely understood it. The beast leaped, its claws outstretched, its jaws wide open. Then, the lights flickered. A blink, a breath, a pulse of cold air brushed her cheeks. When the lights returned, the Fangbeast was no longer moving. It was lying on the floor, dead. No wounds, no blood, just like the first one. Ellen's breath caught. She stared at the corpse. A tiny gray form sat proudly on top of it. Milo. He licked his paw calmly, as if he had simply finished a small chore. Ellen whispered shakily, Milo, how are you doing this? Milo hopped off the corpse and rubbed against her leg, purring loudly, like nothing strange had happened. Again, security arrives late. Director Therox and a team of armored guards burst into the corridor, weapons raised. Therox saw the beast on the ground and froze mid-step. No, he muttered. Not again. Ellen pointed at the corpse. He attacked. And Milo, I know what your creature did. Therox snapped. Guards encircled them, forming a ring around Ellen and Milo. Crix ran in behind them, gasping for breath. He stared at the Fangbeast's body, then at the purring cat. Oh no, this is bad. This is very bad. Ellen shielded Milo with her arms. Don't you dare touch him. Therox growled. Ellen Carter, your creature is now classified as a level 1 threat to galactic safety. Ellen felt like the floor dropped under her. What does that mean? It means, Therox said coldly, that he must be contained or eliminated. Ellen stepped backward. You can't do that. He saved me. He saved civilians. And he is too powerful, Therox responded. No creature should be able to kill Fangbeasts instantly. No unknown species should interfere with station systems. No pet should activate ancient artifacts. Milo hissed quietly, low, more like a warning than a fear. Lights flickered again. Every guard stepped back in instinct. Crix whispered, that cat can control energy fields, maybe even space around him. We have no idea what he really is. Ellen bent down and picked up Milo. He pressed his head into her shoulder, purring softly, as if comforting her. Therox raised a hand, seized the creature. Every guard stepped forward, and at that exact moment, every light in Sector G went out. Complete darkness swallowed the hall. A deep voice, eerie and ancient, echoed through the ventilation system. The silent hunter awakens. Ellen froze. Therox stopped breathing. Crix dropped his datapad. And Milo's eyes glowed in the pitch-black dark. Not cat eyes. Something older. Something primal. Something the galaxy had forgotten. And Milo stared right at them. The darkness in Sector G lingered like a living thing. The lights flickered back on slowly, revealing shocked faces everywhere. Guards froze mid-step. Civilians trembled in corners. And Ellen held Milo tightly, feeling the small cat's fur bristle slightly against her arm. Milo's eyes glowed faintly, golden and sharp, and the hairs on the back of Ellen's neck stood on end. Something in him had changed. The archivist's arrival. Crix ran toward the control room, shouting for help. Minutes later, an old, hunched alien appeared, leaning on a cane, robes dragging the floor. His skin was gray and wrinkled. His eyes glimmered like distant stars. "I have been waiting for this day," he said in a low voice. The room fell silent. Who are you?" Therox demanded. "I am Archivist Shirek," the old alien answered. "I study species, artifacts, and histories that the galaxy forgot. And this little one, is no ordinary cat." Ellen blinked. "What do you mean? He's just Milo." Shirek's long fingers pointed at Milo. "That creature carries the blood of the Silent Hunters, ancient protectors of humanity. Long ago, they served humans in ways no one could imagine, guarding them from monsters, bending space to shield them from death." Ellen stared at Milo. "Silent Hunters? What does that even mean?" "They were small in form," Shirek continued. "Unseen by most, underestimated by many until now. And the energy you witnessed last night, the pulse that killed the Fangbeast, is part of their natural power. Your cat is awakening." Crix gasped. "You're saying he's like a weapon?" Shirek shook his head. "No, not a weapon. A guardian. He was placed among humans to protect them when the need was greatest. And now the galaxy is about to test him." Ellen clutched Milo tighter. "I know. He's just a pet. He's not supposed to do all this." Milo's tail flicked, brushing against her arm. For the first time, she felt the weight of his gaze, not a domestic cat's gaze, but something older, wiser, and far stronger. The energy awakens. Suddenly, Milo leapt from her arms. He landed lightly on the floor and began to walk. Not toward anyone, not toward the Fangbeast's body, but straight toward the central hall of the station. Lights flickered again with every step. The air seemed heavier, vibrating softly, like the hum of a huge engine. Crix whispered, terrified. "He's bending space around him. Look at the sensors." Shirek nodded gravely. "Yes, the Silent Hunters can do this naturally, only when danger awakens them." Ellen ran after Milo. "Milo, wait!" But the cat ignored her. Every step seemed to pulse with a hidden energy. The floor beneath him shivered slightly, and walls seemed to warp, bending in ways that shouldn't be possible. The warning. In the central hall, Milo stopped. The huge doors to the docking bay trembled. The sensors picked up an unusual signal. A massive presence approaching the station. Something huge. Something ancient. Something the station had no defense against. Ellen's stomach dropped. What is it?" Shirek spoke without turning. "An apex predator, the Fang Emperor, older and far stronger than the beasts you have seen. It senses the death of its children. It comes for the one responsible." Therox's armor rattled as he took a step back. Impossible. The Fang Emperor hasn't been seen in centuries. It hunts across galaxies. Shirek nodded. "And yet it knows. It is coming. And Milo, your little guardian, is the only one who can stop it." Ellen looked down at Milo. He was calm, unmoving, as if he already knew the Fang Emperor would arrive and was ready. Crix whispered, shivering, if he is a silent hunter, we are doomed if he doesn't fight. Ellen's voice shook. Milo, are you ready? The cat blinked slowly. Not like a normal cat, but like an ancient warrior acknowledging his charge. A hint of true power. Milo leapt onto a pedestal in the hall. His small body seemed to grow, just slightly, as the energy around him pulsed. It was subtle, but enough for everyone to feel it. The walls of the station warped faintly around him. Lights hummed. Machines flickered. Even the air tasted different. He raised his tiny paw. A soft glow emanated from his claws. Then the glow spread to his entire body, subtle, but terrifying in its beauty. Shirek whispered, awestruck. Yes, the silent hunter awakens fully. Soon, it will no longer be a cat you can hold. It will be the guardian of humanity, the killer of monsters. Ellen swallowed hard. I don't know if I'm ready for that, she admitted. Milo meowed softly, but the sound carried weight. Not just a meow. It sounded like a promise, a warning, a command. And Ellen knew without words that the battle for Gravner 7 was about to begin. The galaxy had no idea what it was about to face. A low vibration ran through the metal floor of Gravner 7. The lights flickered and dimmed, and the hum of the station deepened into a growl that seemed to come from the very walls. Ellen's stomach churned. This can't be good, she whispered. Milo stood on a pedestal, ears upright, golden eyes shining. He didn't move toward her. He didn't need to. He was ready. Outside, the docking bay doors began to tremble. Massive energy shields activated automatically, trying to hold back the approaching presence. But the sensors went wild. Something enormous was coming. Something no sensor had ever seen before. A deep, terrifying roar shook the station. Every alien froze mid-step. Windows cracked. Machines sparked. Even Therox's armor seemed to vibrate in fear. The Fang Emperor had arrived. First glimpse of the Fang Emperor. Through the viewport, the crew could see a dark shadow moving in orbit outside the station. It was the size of a small moon. A spiked head, glowing eyes, and claws that could crush a starship with one swipe. Its body pulsed with dark energy, and its roar made every heart on the station skip a beat. Crix whispered, voice shaking, This is bigger than anything we've ever seen. It's a Fangbeast. No, it's all the Fangbeasts rolled into one. Ellen felt Milo stiffen. The small cat crouched slightly, like a tiny tiger ready to pounce. Yet he did not flee. The golden glow around him intensified. His tail flicked in slow, deliberate movements. Every hair on his body bristled with energy. Shirek's voice was low and grave. The Fang Emperor senses the death of its offspring. It hunts. And you're Milo. He is the one who killed them. It will test him. Ellen swallowed hard. He's just a cat, she whispered. But deep inside, she felt something she hadn't before. Fear. The station trembles. The Fang Emperor slammed against the station's shields. Metal bent. Sparks flew. Alarm sirens screamed. Aliens screamed. Doors sealed and unsealed at random. Gravity fluctuated slightly. Therox shouted orders, but no one could move. Even his weapons, powerful enough to destroy smaller starships, failed. They did nothing against the massive, energy-shrouded monster outside. Crix stared at Milo, awe and panic in his eyes. It's him. Milo can fight it. He's the only one. Ellen nodded slowly, holding Milo. I trust him, she said, but her heart thumped wildly. He was so small, and it was so huge. Milo blinked slowly, almost as if he understood the scale of the threat, the awakening of true power. The cat leapt from Ellen's arms into the center of the main hall. He landed softly, yet the floor beneath him seemed to ripple. The golden glow around him spread like liquid light, reaching the walls, the ceiling, and even out into the docking bay. Milo's body began to shimmer. His form grew slightly, his fur sparkling like starlight, his eyes brighter and more intense. The energy pulse around him thickened, bending light and gravity slightly. It was subtle but terrifying. Every Fangbeast on the station, or at least those remaining in containment, stirred nervously. Therox whispered, almost himself, This is impossible. He is not a cat, he is a guardian. Ellen's voice trembled. Fight! Milo, protect everyone. Milo meowed softly, and then a pulse of energy shot from him straight toward the docking bay. The confrontation. The Fang Emperor paused mid-orbit. It seemed to sense the energy, the familiar, ancient pulse of the silent hunter. Its massive head turned, and for the first time it hesitated. The golden light around Milo grew brighter. His small claws extended, glowing faintly with strange energy. The air around him shimmered, warping the very space between him and the monster outside. Ellen held her breath. Everything on the station stopped, frozen in fear and awe. Even the shield seemed to bend toward Milo's pulse. The Fang Emperor roared, shaking the station violently, but it did not attack immediately. It hesitated, sensing something older and stronger than itself. Milo stepped forward, slowly, deliberately. His glowing eyes locked onto the Fang Emperor's massive form. Shirek whispered softly, "The silent hunter recognizes its foe, and it will strike when the moment is right." Crix covered his mouth. It's communicating. Not with words, with energy. Ellen's voice shook, but determination rose in her chest. Do it. Milo, show them what you are. The small cat crouched like a predator. Then, with a single step forward, he vanished from sight. In that instant, the Fang Emperor's roar was silenced. The energy in the station pulsed like a heartbeat. Everything, even gravity, seemed to pause. The silent warning was clear. Milo was no longer a small cat. He was a hunter born to protect humanity, and the Fang Emperor was about to meet its match. Silence fell over Gravner 7. The station trembled, but no one dared move. All eyes were on the small gray cat, or what remained of the small gray cat. Ellen's hands shook as she clutched the empty pedestal where Milo had vanished. Where did he go?" she whispered. The answer came in the form of a pulse of golden light that exploded through the docking bay doors. The Fang Emperor, massive and terrifying, roared in anger and confusion as a shimmering figure appeared before it. Milo had returned, not small, not ordinary, but as he truly was. Milo's true form. He had grown slightly larger than a normal feline, but that was not what made him terrifying. His fur shimmered with an ethereal light, like a sky full of stars. His eyes glowed like twin suns. Shadowy energy wrapped around his form, bending space subtly with every movement. He exuded a calm power that made even the Fang Emperor hesitate. The station's alarms faded into silence. Every alien froze, unable to look away. Even Director Therox dropped to one knee, overwhelmed with awe. Shirek whispered, voice trembling, "The silent hunter. It is fully awakened. The predator of predators." Ellen whispered to herself, tears in her eyes. "Milo, you're incredible." The confrontation. The Fang Emperor charged. Its massive claws tore through space, as if it could reach Milo instantly. Its roar was deafening, shaking the docking bay. But Milo was faster than any sensor could detect, faster than the eye could follow. He leapt into the air, small yet impossibly precise, moving to the vacuum of the docking bay as if gravity did not exist. With one strike, Milo's paw connected with the Fang Emperor's armored chest. A ripple of energy exploded outward. The Fang Emperor froze, struggling against a force it could not understand. The station quaked violently. Aliens and humans alike fell to their knees. Ellen gripped a rail, her heart pounding. Shirek muttered, "No being in this galaxy has ever faced a silent hunter fully awake, not even a Fang Emperor." The final strike. Milo's form glowed brighter and brighter. Space itself seemed to warp around him. Time slowed for everyone watching. The Fang Emperor tried to roar again, to strike, to escape, but was trapped in the energy field Milo had created. Then, Milo leapt onto the creature's massive head. His claws did not wound in the usual way. They didn't need to. A pulse of pure cosmic energy flowed from him, a silent, final strike that shattered the Fang Emperor's power at its core. The beast shuddered, gave one final roar, and then collapsed, motionless. Silence returned to the station. The threat was gone. Milo stood on the giant corpse, glowing softly, and then shrank. In a blink, He returned to the tiny gray cat Ellen knew. He leapt into her arms and purred, as if nothing had happened. Ellen hugged him tightly, whispering, You saved everyone. Aftermath. The alien stared in awe. The Fang Emperor's body remained in orbit outside, a reminder of the danger Milo had just faced and conquered. Therox, the director who had doubted humans and their pets, fell to his knees before Ellen and Milo. I was wrong, he said. No creature should have been underestimated. No pet, no human. I apologize for my arrogance. Crix, still trembling, approached. I don't understand. How can a small cat do all this? Shirek answered simply, Because he is not just a cat. He is the last of the silent hunters. He serves humans, and now the galaxy knows the truth. The aliens murmured among themselves. Some bowed. Some simply stared, terrified yet respectful. Ellen looked down at Milo, holding him close. You were always more than just a cat, weren't you? She said softly. Milo blinked slowly. His tail flicked against her arm. That small, lazy gesture said more than words ever could. The new respect for humans. News of Milo's power spread quickly through Gravner. 7. Aliens who had mocked humans before now whispered their names in reverence. Ellen walked to the hallways, carrying Milo in her arms. Everyone stepped aside, bowing or simply watching with respect. Even the Council of Alien Leaders sent messages of gratitude. Shirek nodded to her. The galaxy underestimated humans, as they always do. And yet here they stand, protected by those who were forgotten. Ellen smiled faintly. I guess we're stronger than they think. Milo purred, as if to confirm it. The final scene. Night fell on Gravner. 7, though in space. Night was just a shadow in the void. Ellen sat by the observation window, holding Milo. The stars twinkled in silence, and somewhere in the distance, the Fang Emperor's shadow passed, now nothing more than a memory. Ellen whispered, Good boy, Milo. Milo meowed softly, curled in her lap, and closed his eyes. But the galaxy knew the truth now. Never underestimate a human, and never underestimate the small cat that protects them. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of space, ancient predators remembered. The silent hunter had returned. The galaxy would never be the same again. Weeks had passed since the Fang Emperor was defeated. Gravner, 7 stations slowly returned to normal, or at least as normal as it could be after a cosmic battle. Ellen walked to the corridors. Milo perched on her shoulder like a tiny king surveying his kingdom. The whispers had changed from fear to respect. Every alien she passed bowed slightly or gave her a wary nod. Even Therox, the one stern station director, now gave her a quiet smile and stepped aside. You've done the impossible, he admitted. I don't know how a small cat could stop a creature like that, but you and your pet saved the station. Saved countless lives. Ellen shrugged. It's not just Milo. Humans are smarter than they seem. And Milo, well, Milo's not your normal cat. She patted him gently. Milo purred, curling his tail lazily, pretending to be ordinary, but every flick of it hinted at the power he carried. Galactic news spreads. Across the galaxy, news traveled faster than light. Holographic broadcasts showed the Fang Emperor's body in orbit and footage of Milo in the station, small but glowing with golden energy. Reports called him the Silent Hunter, protector of humanity and vanquisher of the galaxy's deadliest predator. Humans who were once ignored or underestimated suddenly found themselves treated with respect. Alien traders, diplomats, and mercenaries all sought the favor of humans. Some out of awe, others out of fear. Ellen shook her head. All this attention, it's too much for one cat. Or me. Milo blinked slowly at her. That slow, knowing blink that said, You underestimate what comes next. The mystery deepens. In her quarters, Ellen noticed strange things happening. Small lights pulsed around Milo at random. Machines sometimes acted as if they recognized him. Even the oldest alien archives flickered when he passed nearby. Crix, the four-armed scientist, visited her again. I've been analyzing the data, he said nervously. Even the Fang Emperor's energy signature, it didn't disappear completely. It's dormant but present. And Milo's energy, it seems tied to it in some strange way. Ellen frowned. You mean the Emperor to come back? Crix nodded. And Milo, he might have to face it again, or something worse. Milo stretched lazily on the table, completely unconcerned. Ellen whispered, You better not get us into trouble again. A quiet guardian. Despite the attention, Milo returned to being a normal cat in daily life. He chased lasers, slept for hours, and occasionally knocked things off tables. But every now and then, Ellen would catch him staring at empty space, ears twitching, eyes glowing faintly. She realized then that he was always aware, always guarding. The galaxy might be at peace now, but Milo never truly rested. He was the last silent hunter, the small cat that no one could predict. Ellen smiled, hugging him. You're not just my pet, are you, Milo? He blinked slowly. A soft meow escaped him, gentle yet full of promise. Somewhere far away, hidden in the void of space, other ancient predators stirred. They remembered the silent hunter. They remembered Milo. And the galaxy would soon realize there was no force that could be underestimated again. Hints of the future. Ellen looked out at the stars from the observation deck. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown threats and mysteries, and she knew that one small cat might be the galaxy's best hope for centuries to come. Milo jumped onto the rail beside her, tail flicking, eyes gleaming with intelligence beyond any normal feline. She whispered softly, Whatever comes next, we face it together. Milo purred, as if agreeing. The silent hunter was ready, and the galaxy would never forget the tiny gray cat that slew monsters, bent reality, and protected humanity. End of Epilogue.